Welcome to the Recovery Daily podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Abbasi. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic and stroke survivor, and today is a very special day. Today is my 50th birthday, and I have not been looking forward to it. If I'm being quite honest, I have not been. But I've been allowing things to shift for me today. I've had so many people reaching out to me. And since I can't have a party, I have lots of people that are going to come visit me, one at a time. So my schedule is filling up, and I'm super grateful to have so many people that care about me. So birthdays are interesting for me. I've been later in sobriety learning how to celebrate me. And today I feel, maybe because it's my 50th and I just can't believe that I'm 50. I've been reflecting a lot on the past, and I wanted to talk about today because I'm so wrapped up in the past. I want to talk about the incredible gifts that I've received throughout my dual recovery. And I think that there's this underlying fear that I've had since I've had a stroke that I'm going to have another one. And I remember being in ICU, and my kids were in the room with me when I asked a nurse or doctor that came in, I think it was a nurse that came in, and I said, I'm afraid that I'm going to have another one. It was the first time that I was able to start asking questions. And he said, "Oh, I wouldn't worry about that. If you have another one, it won't be for another 10 years. And I was like, that wasn't an okay answer for me. Um, so it's been 3 years, and I find myself being in this mental countdown of how many years do I have left? And now I'm 50, and this is not the way that I should be living. I shouldn't be living in a state of fear. So I want to talk about the gifts. And the gifts come in so many different forms. Many of them are unexpected. And many of them I didn't realize were gifts until much later, including my disease of alcoholism. I didn't realize for many years after I got sober that being a recovering alcoholic is a gift. And I'm given an opportunity to learn how to live through a program. Who gets that? You have to seek these personal help guides and therapists and all of this stuff. I get a free program for living because I qualify as an alcoholic. And I feel that it's a gift because there's a lot of people around me that, for some of you who may be in the sobriety program, might be thinking, I wish they had a program for living. When you encounter certain people, I just feel like I've been gifted a way of life that I would not have had or been able to figure out. I wouldn't have had this network of people in my life if I didn't have the disease of alcoholism. So would I choose it again? If I had the option next time around, would I have been like, yeah, I want to be an alcoholic again? I don't know, because I don't know what it's like to live without the disease and without all these invisible illnesses that I have of depression and anxiety and all of this stuff, because I don't believe that my alcoholism is the only invisible illness that lives inside of me, and I don't think it exists on its own. So, I went on a little tangent here, but let's dive into a special episode where we talk about the gifts, um, the blessings, if you will, that recovery has brought into my life. So, turning 50 has prompted me to just think about, I mean, it's only 2 o'clock today, and I have been reflecting deeply on all these different phases of my life. And my kids called me today, and I've been, of course, reflecting on just memories, nothing good, nothing bad, just memories. And I was listening to the book, The Women, and I just finished it today. And it just brought me to tears. And I was so filled with so much emotion. Um, and it felt good to feel all of that emotion. It feels good to be able to spend the day reflecting back on my life and seeing this tapestry of experiences and challenges and triumphs. And I think that in itself, that ability to reflect back and feel emotions is a gift in itself. When I first got sober, feeling emotions didn't feel like a gift at all. It felt like a curse because my emotions were terrible. My emotions were all just depression, anxiety, fear, sadness, so much freaking sadness. And once I was able to work through that stuff and I'm always going to be working through it because I'm always going to have these invisible illnesses. But today I can feel all these emotions, and most of them feel good, not bad. So my recovery has been an unexpected source of gifts. And because of that, because of living through this sobriety for the past 8 years and watching myself unfold into a different person than I ever thought I was, that I ever thought I could be, I believe, I truly believe 100% today that my stroke recovery is going to end with the same result. It is going to be an unexpected gift. I believe that, and therefore it will be. So that's how I choose to live today. But I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the memories that have come up today, some of the gifts that were unexpected. And one that's really important to me is a gift that my father-in-law, who has passed, he is the father of my ex-husband, the kid's grandfather. Before he passed away, he gave me a gift. And at the time, I didn't know it was a gift because I was still drinking. And I believe I'm certain I had been drinking that morning. So his life was coming to an end. He didn't have much longer. We're talking weeks. And he asked for me to visit him. And I was already divorced from his son. So he called me his daughter, and that always meant the world to me. And So I went to go visit him and he asked to talk with me alone. And he was laying in his bed, and his bed was overlooking, he lived in Burgess, Virginia, so it was overlooking the river. And it was just beautiful. It was a beautiful view for him. And he said that he wanted to tell me that he forgave me. And I didn't know why. I didn't know what he was forgiving me for. He didn't say anything specifically. He just said that he wanted to tell me that he forgave me. And I didn't grasp the significance of his words. Um, I remember looking into his eyes. I accepted his forgiveness, even though I didn't understand it. He understood it. And as other people came and I kind of moved back into the other, a little bit further away so that everybody else could get closer to him, I just kept looking at him. And I kept looking into his eyes and thinking to myself, those eyes have life in them, and they won't for much longer. Like, those eyes are like the doorway to him, him on the inside of that body. And I just couldn't look away. Um, and I think he caught me staring at him, and he just winked at me and smiled. And before I left, the last thing I told him was that I'm still going to talk to him. I'm still going to talk to you when you're gone. And he said, please do. And so I do today. I still talk to him. And today I know what he was giving me. I know the gift that he gave me. I believe that he knew I was going to get sober, and that one day I would be ready to practice my step 9 of making amends, and he wouldn't be here, alive for me to do so with him. And I believe that he knew he was giving me this gift before he passed. Um, it was a gift that I didn't even know I was holding. I didn't even know that I had it for years until I got sober and I got to step 9 and I realized what he did. Um, so that is an amazing gift that, had I not gotten sober, I wouldn't have known I was given. So sometimes these gifts we receive in life are not immediately apparent. I was talking to my mom 2 days ago, and I think I mentioned this to you. I was talking to my mom about how we don't, we experience things and believe that they're terrible at the time that they happen. And because of cause and effect, there's other things that ripple off of different events in our lives. And if the first terrible thing didn't happen, then this beautiful thing wouldn't have happened, and it can take time to and reflection to really see the value of what we've been given. Um, the forgiveness of my father-in-law that he gave me was that kind of gift. He planted a seed in my heart that was going to grow if I got sober. And by receiving his forgiveness, that seed, I have been able to not just feel like I've been able to make amends with him, but I've also been able to forgive myself. And he has also become a very, very huge part of my higher power. I told you my higher power is everything outside of myself. He is a big chunk of that. Um, and he gave me courage to make amends with other people. Um, so the greatest gifts in my life are those that I didn't plan for, expect, and sometimes even want. And these gifts are often disguised as challenges, losses, or moments of despair. In my active addiction, I dreaded waking up in the morning, facing my mistakes, the pain that I was living with every day. But through recovery, that dread, those moments are now opportunities for growth, healing, and transformation. They are the reason why I am able to feel serenity today. Without that pain, I don't believe I would have serenity today. Dual recovery, meaning sobriety and stroke recovery, has also begun to unveil unexpected gifts in my life. I have an understanding of myself that I didn't have not only before I got sober, but now before I had my stroke. Like, I recognize so much more about what triggers me, what my strengths are, what my weaknesses are. And this self-awareness has been so critical in managing my mental health, and my addiction. As you might remember, those of you that are lifetime listeners, the reason why I'm here doing this podcast is because I had that self-awareness that I learned in sobriety that said, Rachel, you've got to do something. You've got to change something, or nothing's going to change. I was on a path of destruction, of self-destruction a year ago. Having left my job, having walked away by force, by medical force, walking away from everything that I knew, that I thought was going to happen for me in my life. I just had to walk away. And I knew that that was not going to end well. But I learned in sobriety that what to do. I was given the tools. So all of that, the challenges and the hesitations and the do the next right thing, learning how to take action, that was all from my sobriety. And now I use it in stroke recovery. My sobriety also helped me to build relationships with community in order to create a support system for myself. And because I went through the motions and engaged in a sobriety community, I knew just how to create a community for myself, of stroke survivors. When I later found out it's a vestibular disorder, I dove right into a vestibular community. And I still, although sometimes forget, am a part of those communities. Um, I have found a sense of purpose. I really have. And that's pretty freaking great to be able to say that. This has been a such a huge year for me, going from feeling like giving up to creating a whole new purpose in my life and finding experiences from my past that serve as sources of inspiration for me for my future. Little things like watching my mom sew when I was a kid, that has become a gift the past year. I was able to sew a quilt for a man that was dying, and he has since passed. And I was able to give him the one quilt he's ever received in his life. And he said, "I've been quilted." And he said, "Thank you very much." But that came from me watching my mom sew when I was a kid. I hated going to the fabric store. I hated when she dragged me to the fabric store. But today, what she gave me was a gift. And I've been using the heck out of it. I've been sewing so much stuff. It has made me feel so much closer to my mom when I've been challenged and suffering. I feel like she's right here with me. And my mom lives an hour away, but it's hard for us to see each other because I can't get in the car and I can't go to see her. And she's here with me every time I'm sewing. I feel today like I can face my fears and my challenges, and I can cry, and I don't feel embarrassed. I feel like when I'm talking through the pain out loud, that it just builds more resilience inside of me. It makes me believe that I can overcome obstacles and I can thrive despite them. I'm learning to forgive myself when I mess up. And I mess up a lot. I mess up at trying to slow down constantly. But that's okay. You know, I know that I'm doing the best that I can. And I'm just going to keep moving forward. I'm pretty emotional today. Can you tell? Um, so I think as I celebrate my 50th birthday today, I am truly grateful for the gifts in recovery that have been brought into my life. And the gifts have come in so many different forms, so many different ways that I couldn't even sit here and tell all the stories. Some from loved ones around me, some gifts from within myself, and some things that, I just look up to the sky in amazement and just say, "Thank you for giving this to me," because I just feel really loved. All of it, all of the people around me have played a part in shaping who I am today and how I'm able to survive today. So I think my message today is to remember that the greatest gifts that we receive come when we least expect them. And sometimes we don't even know that they're gifts until much later, years later. So embrace the roller coaster ride and trust the track that's underneath you and the seatbelt that's holding you in. Be open to receive blessings. Be open to receiving change in your life that eventually may be just blessings in disguise. So thank you so much for joining me today on the Recovery Daily Podcast. Happy birthday to me. I'm going to go make a chocolate eclair cake, and I am not going to put 50 candles on it, but I am going to eat a lot of it. Thanks for joining me, and I will